The rain hammered the tin roof of my cramped apartment like fists on a drum, drowning out the static hum of the old radio I'd scavenged from a thrift store. I'd driven cross-country from Chicago 3 days ago, fleeing the wreckage Mark left behind. His lies, his other guy, the way he'd made me feel like I was the one who'd shattered. But as thunder rattled the windows, a knock cut through the storm, steady and unyielding, and when I yanked the door open, there he was, broad-shouldered, soaked to the bone, his sheriff's department windbreaker clinging like a second skin, eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my breath hitch. "Evening," he said, voice low and steady over the downpour. "Name's Jordan Hale. My dad's the sheriff here in Willow Creek. Saw your taillights swerve off Route 22 last night. Thought you might need a hand settling in. You okay?" I stared, water dripping from his dark curls onto the welcome mat I'd never unpacked, wondering how this stranger had already peeled back the first layer of my carefully built walls. He didn't wait for an invitation, just stepped inside with that easy confidence small-town folks were like armor, shaking off the rain like a dog after a swim. The apartment smelled of fresh paint and cardboard boxes, my life still folded away in hasty piles. Jordan glanced around, not prying, but taking it in. The single mug on the counter, the unmade bed visible through the open door, the faded pride flag sticker peeling from my laptop case on the coffee table. "Willow Creek's not much," he said, peeling off his jacket to reveal a plain gray tee stretched across his chest. "Population 4,200, give or take. Coffee shop on Main that's older than dirt. A diner that serves pie that'll make you forget your troubles. But folks talk. And you pulling in at midnight, looking like you were outrunning demons? Word travels." I forced a laugh, rubbing my arms against the chill seeping in, but it came out brittle. "Demons? Yeah, something like that." He nodded, like he'd heard it before, and pulled a thermos from his bag. "Brought this. My ma's blend, strong enough to wake the dead. Figured a newcomer's first storm shouldn't be faced solo." We ended up on the sagging couch, mugs steaming between us, the rain a relentless backdrop. Jordan talked about the town like it was a living thing. The annual harvest fair where old Mrs. Delaney still judged the pumpkin contest with a ruler, the creek that swelled every fall and flooded the baseball field, how his dad, Sheriff Hale, had raised him and his sister Ellie after their mom passed from cancer when Jordan was 12. He was 28, he said, back from a stint in Portland PD after deciding small-town justice fit him better. No mention of a girlfriend or anyone, just this quiet rhythm to his words that pulled me in despite myself. I was Alex Rivera, 26, graphic designer by trade, runaway by circumstance. Mark had been my anchor for 3 years, until I walked in on him with his business partner in our bed. The betrayal hadn't just broken my heart. It had cracked something fundamental, left me doubting every glance, every kindness. "So," Jordan said after a lull, his gaze steady, "who hurt you so bad you drove 2,000 miles in a beater Civic?" I froze, the question hanging like smoke. No one had asked that yet. Not my sister in Seattle, not the therapist I'd Skyped once. "Just life," I muttered, but he leaned forward, elbows on knees, not pushing but waiting, and for the first time in months, I felt seen. By morning, the storm had cleared, leaving Willow Creek glistening under a crisp October sun. I woke to a note on the counter. "Fixed your leaky faucet. Breakfast at Dinah's, on me if you show. J." Taped to it was a keychain with a tiny carved creek stone, the town's unofficial welcome. I shouldn't have gone. Strangers didn't fix things for guys like me without strings, or so Mark's voice echoed in my head. But the town pulled at me, this bubble of normalcy I'd crashed into, and before I knew it, I was pushing through the diner's screen door, bell jingling like a promise. Jordan waved from a corner booth, already nursing coffee with 2 plates of eggs and hash browns steaming between them. "Knew you'd come," he grinned, sliding one over. "Town rule. Feed the new guy before he starves on takeout." Dinah herself, a wiry woman in her 60s with a name tag pinned crooked, winked as she refilled his mug. Hellboys always did have a soft spot for strays. I ate, the food grounding me, and we talked about Chicago's grind versus Willow Creek's slow burn, about how I'd freelance from the library till I found my feet. He listened, really listened, without the pity I'd braced for. That week blurred into a rhythm I hadn't known I craved. Jordan showed me the ropes. The farmer's market where vendors hawked cider and quilts. The trail along the creek where aspens turned gold. The library's quiet corner with its creaky Wi-Fi, where I'd sketch logos while he dropped by on patrol, really just to chat. He was out and proud. He let slip one afternoon over sandwiches at the park. Had been since high school, when he'd come out to his dad after a brutal locker room shove from a teammate. Dad didn't blink. Said love's love, and anyone who said different could answer to his badge. It hit me then, the ease of it. How Willow Creek wasn't the Bible Belt nightmare I'd imagined. But Jordan had his shadows too. His ex, Tyler, who'd bailed 2 years back for the city lights, leaving him questioning if small-town hearts could hold big dreams. Sometimes you wonder if you're enough, he admitted, tossing pebbles into the water. I nodded, the words echoing my own scars. Friendship bloomed fast, fierce, the kind that fills empty spaces without asking permission. Ellie Hale crashed into our orbit like a sparkler on the 4th. Jordan's younger sister, 24 and a firecracker, ran the coffee shop, the Beanstalk, with tattoos snaking up her arms and a laugh that turned heads. She was bi, she'd announce unapologetically to customers who stared, and her crew, a mix of locals and transplants, included Mia, her girlfriend, a soft-spoken artist with pastel hair, and Theo, a non-binary barista who'd escaped a conservative family upstate. Alex, the mystery man Jordan won't shut up about. Ellie crowed the first time I wandered in, shoving a lavender latte my way. Sit. Spill. What's a city boy doing in our neck of the woods? They folded me in, no questions too deep, just easy banter about bad dates and worse exes. Theo shared stories of their transition, the quiet victories of name changes and pronoun pins. Mia sketched quick portraits on napkins, capturing my brooding hero vibe. It was the first time I'd laughed without it hurting, surrounded by folks who wore their truths like badges. But cracks showed early. At the harvest fair, amid hay bales and caramel apples, Jordan's hand brushed mine as we reached for the same cider jug, electric, accidental, and gone in a blink. He pulled back fast, cheeks flushing under the string lights, muttering about the crowd. I played it off, but that night, alone, I replayed it, heart racing with what-ifs. Was it nothing? Or everything? Mark's ghost whispered doubts. You're broken goods, no one stays. Meanwhile, the town whispered too. Old Mr. Hargrove at the hardware store eyed my rainbow keychain with a sniff, later cornering Jordan at the station. That new fella, friend of yours? City's full of types we don't need here. Jordan shut it down, voice steel. My friends are welcome, Hargrove. Yours too, if you behave. But the seed lodged, a quiet prejudice simmering under the town's polite veneer. Thanksgiving loomed, and Jordan invited me to the Hales for dinner. Ellie's turkey's legendary. Don't make me beg. I hesitated, the intimacy daunting, but accepted, craving the warmth. The house was a cozy rancher on Elm, strung with lights and smelling of sage. Sheriff Hale greeted me with a firm handshake, eyes kind but assessing, gray hair, broad like his son, widowed but unbreakable. Dinner was chaos. Ellie teasing Jordan about his hopeless romantic phase, Mia passing cranberry sauce, Theo debating pie flavors. Laughter flowed, real and rare, until the sheriff raised his glass. To new starts. Alex, glad you're here. Simple words, but they cracked me open. Later, washing dishes with Jordan, our shoulders touched, lingering this time. You fit, he murmured, suds dripping. I met his eyes, saw the question there. Want this? And whispered, yeah. The kiss was tentative, born of cider and candlelight, tasting of possibility. But as his arms wrapped around me, a car horn blared outside. Ellie's, calling us for pie. And the moment shattered, leaving us breathless, unspoken promises hanging. Winter crept in soft, snow dusting the creek like powdered sugar. Our secret unfolded in stolen moments. Walks in the woods where hands intertwined. Coffee dates turning to late-night talks on my couch. Jordan was patient, mapping my hesitations like a trail he'd hiked 100 times. No rush, he'd say, tracing my knuckles. We're building something solid. And we were. Him sharing stories of his first crush, a summer camp counselor who'd vanished without a word. Me finally voicing Mark's cruelty, how it had left me terrified of trust. But the town watched. Whispers grew. Hale boy's got a shadow now. That Rivera kid. At the Beanstalk, Theo pulled me aside one shift. Heard Hargrove griping at the council meeting. Says you're influencing Jordan, bringing that lifestyle too close. Theo's eyes, sharp under their liner, held worry. Folks here love Jordan. But change scares them. I brushed it off, but doubt festered. Was I healing, or just trading one cage for another? The first real fracture came mid-December, at the tree lighting ceremony. Main Street glowed with lanterns, carols floating on frosty air. Jordan and I stood close, his pinky hooked mine behind our coats, when Tyler rolled in. Unannounced, city slick in a leather jacket, all sharp jaw and sharper smile. Jordan? Holy shit, man. The ex, back for the holidays, visiting family. Jordan stiffened, dropping my hand like it burned. Tyler, what brings you? Casual, but his voice pitched high. Tyler's eyes flicked to me, appraising. Just nostalgia. Heard you're still playing hero. The hug was brief, but it lingered in Jordan's posture after, distant, replaying old tapes. That night, he canceled our plans, texting. Family stuff. Rain check. I paced my apartment, paranoia blooming. Was Tyler the one who'd truly held Jordan's heart? Had I been a rebound, a small-town distraction? Ellie cornered me at the shop next day, steam rising from her espresso wand. Tyler's poison, Alex. Left Jordan gutted, chasing lights that didn't shine for him. She slid me a mug, eyes fierce. But Jordan's scared now, scared of losing you like he lost that. Mia nodded from the counter, sketching absently. Talk to him. We're family here, all of us. Theo chimed in, voice soft. Prejudice starts small, but it spreads. Hargrove's rallying the old guard. Petitions about protecting values at town hall. It clicked then. The stares at the grocery, the crossed arms at the fair. Willow Creek wasn't Portland. Under the apple pie crust, biases simmered, aimed at folks like us. I found Jordan at the station, snow flurrying outside. Talk, I said, no room for dodge. He sighed, rubbing his neck. Tyler's stirring shit. Texts about old times, making me question if I'm holding you back here. His eyes searched mine raw, and Dad pulled me aside. Hargrove's complaining about you, saying you're trouble. I told him to shove it, but what if they're right? What if this town's too small for us? The words landed like punches, echoing Mark's final barb. You're too much for anyone. I stormed out, snow biting my cheeks, straight to the Beanstalk. Ellie enveloped me in a hug, the crew rallying. Theo brewing tea, Mia drawing a silly caricature of Hargrove as a grumpy pumpkin. You're not trouble, Ellie said. You're home. But home felt fragile. Days blurred into avoidance. Jordan's texts unanswered, my designs half-finished. Then, Christmas Eve, Tyler showed at my door, drunk, charming, all apologies and what-ifs. Jordan sent me. Says you're ghosting him. Lies, I knew, but the seed of doubt took root. He deserves better than this podunk trap, Tyler slurred, stepping too close. I shoved him back, heart pounding. Get out. He laughed, cruel. City boys soft. Run back to Chicago. The door slammed, but the echo lingered. Christmas morning, a knock. Jordan, cheeks red from cold, holding a wrapped box. I screwed up. Tyler's a ghost. You're real. Inside was a leather-bound sketchbook, pages filled with his clumsy drawings. Us by the Creek, Ellie's shop, my profile from memory. I want this, he said, voice breaking. You, me, fights and all. But Hargrove's petition hit the council, trying to block the Pride event in June. Says it's divisive. Dad's fighting it, but I pulled him inside, the kiss fierce, forgiving. Then we fight too. Relief flooded, but so did resolve. Willow Creek was testing us, prejudices bubbling like sap in spring. New Year's brought Theo's crisis. Their dead names slipped in a family call from upstate, triggering a spiral. We gathered at the Hales, a queer makeshift family, sharing stories under twinkling lights. Jordan held Theo's hand, steady as oak. I sketched affirmations on napkins. Mia, turning them into art. We're woven, Ellie toasted. Unravel one, we all fray. It bonded us deeper, but tension coiled. Tyler lingered, crashing at his folks, dropping by the station with advice that reeked of sabotage. One night, he cornered Jordan in the parking lot, witnessed by a deputy who reported to the sheriff. Tyler's saying you're unstable, distracted by me. Jordan confessed later, frustration etching his face. And Hargrove's using it. whispering to Dad about protecting the badge. The sheriff called a family meeting, Ellie pacing like a caged tiger. Dad, you know Alex. Tyler's the snake. Sheriff Hale nodded, weary. I do. But town's divided, old blood versus new. We tread careful. January thawed the snow, but not the chill. Jordan and I navigated it with quiet defiance, holding hands openly at the diner, volunteering at the library's story hour for queer youth books. Kids like Sam, a shy 12-year-old with a bi flag patch, lit up when I read about families like ours. But backlash hit. Vandalized posters, anonymous notes in Jordan's locker. Clean up your act or lose the star. Tyler fueled it, I suspected, his smirks at the market confirming. One evening, walking home, a truck slowed. Hargrove's nephew, yelling slurs that curdled the air. Jordan stepped forward, badge flashing, but I grabbed his arm. Not worth it. Inside, he trembled, not fear, but fury. This is my home. Our home. I won't let them poison it. We made love to the fire's crackle, bodies speaking what words couldn't. Trust, fire, future. But dawn brought a call. Tyler pressing charges against Jordan for harassment from that parking lot scuffle, twisting the deputy's report. The accusation blindsided us. Sheriff Hale's face was thunder as we sat in his office, Ellie fuming beside. Tyler's lawyered up from Portland, says you threatened him. Jordan's jaw clenched. Bull. He baited me. Evidence was thin, but in Willow Creek, perception ruled. Hargrove crowed at counsel, linking it to the immoral influences petition, now gaining signatures. Protests brewed. A countergroup led by Mia and Theo, rainbow signs in shop windows. I felt the noose tightening. Had I brought this curse? Mark's voice laughed. See? You ruin everything. Jordan sensed it, pulling me close that night. This isn't you. It's fear. Old, ugly fear. But doubt not. Tyler visited the station, smug, dropping hints to reporters from the local rag. Jordan's changed. That new guy's trouble. The article hit Friday. Sheriff's son in scuffle. Town values at risk? Climax brewed at the emergency town hall, snow melting into mud outside. The gym packed. Hargrove thundering about traditional values. Signatures waved like flags. Tyler smirked from the back, anonymous donor. Our side rose. Ellie eloquent on love's spectrum. Theo vulnerable on chosen family. Mia's art projected. Portraits of us, woven threads. Sheriff Hale spoke last, voice gravel. I've protected this town 30 years. From floods, feuds, fools. Love ain't the enemy, hate is. Jordan followed, hand in mine, badge proud. Alex healed me. We heal together. Sign away pride. You sign away your souls. Cheers erupted, but as votes tallied, narrow win for the event, Tyler lunged, grabbing my arm in the chaos. You think you won? He's mine. Jordan shoved him free, deputies swarming. Truth spilled. Tyler's texts confessed, recorded by Ellie, sabotage born of jealousy, bribing Hargrove's kin. February bloomed tentative. Charges dropped. Tyler slunk back to Portland with a restraining order. Hargrove grumbled, but backed off, petition ashes. Jordan and I rebuilt. Spring plans for the Pride Walk, my designs for banners fluttering in breeze. Friendships deepened. Theo's family visit mended by our circle's letters. Ellie's shop hosting queer open mics. One evening by the creek, Jordan knelt, not with a ring but a promise stone, carved like the keychain. Marry me? Not today, but when you're ready. Tears stung. Yes, 1,000 times. Willow Creek wasn't perfect, prejudices lingering like frost, but we'd thawed them, one heart at a time. Healing wasn't linear. Anniversaries triggered me. Mark's birthday, a panic attack, and April rain. Jordan held me through it. No questions, just presence. We traveled to Seattle, meeting my sister Lena, who grilled him over tacos. Hurt him, and I'll bury you in the sound. He laughed, earning her nod. Back home, conflicts arose soft. His long shifts clashing my freelance deadlines, small arguments blooming into nights apart. But we learned, therapy sessions via Zoom, date nights at the diner with pie as peace offering. Ellie and Mia's wedding in June anchored us, vows under pride flags we'd raised together. Theo officiated, voice steady. In threads of choice, we bind. I caught Jordan's eye across the aisle, heart full, love as verb, fierce and forgiving. Summer wove surprises. Sam's coming out. A letter to his parents we'd helped draft. Met with hugs, not hate. Hargrove's grandson joined the youth group. Eyes wide at stories like ours. Tyler's shadow faded. A postcard apology arriving. You won fair. Be happy. Fall brought harvest fair redux. No whispers. Just dances under lights. Jordan and I slow danced. Town watching, approving. Who hurt you? He whispered, echoing that first night. No one anymore, I replied. Just scars that tell our story. Years layered like creek silt. We bought the rancher next to his dad's. Renovations, a joint dream. Rainbow shutters. Garden for Mia's herbs. Ellie birthed a niece. Rainbow named Riley. Theo published zines on Small Town, Queer Joy. I opened a design co-op. Theo illustrating covers. Jordan made lieutenant. Badge heavier, but heart lighter. Prejudices persisted. Newcomers tested. Old guards grumbled. But our circle grew, a buffer of understanding. One October eve, storm brewing like our first, Jordan pulled me to the porch. Remember that night? Thunder rumbled ascent. You asked who hurt me. He nodded, arms circling. And now? I smiled, rain pattering. You healed me. In Willow Creek's quiet, we'd found not just refuge, but roots. Love's drama unfolding in conflicts conquered, friendships forged, misunderstandings mended. Surprises lingered, climaxes in every choice, but we chose us. Always.